but it's hard not to do so. They've been getting the country jamming since 1994. They've released 12 studio albums, achieving platinum status 3 times with over 1 million record sales. There are few Kwaito music groups that command more respect than them. The 5 members of the group are Kwaito pioneers and legends, including Jairus Jakarumba Nkwe, Zayn Mahuta Spikiri Mandla Spikiri, Mufukeng, and we have Eugene Mthethwa and the late Mujalifa Mjokes Matsane. I'm talking about Trompies this morning. We're joined, though, by Eugene. Good morning, Eugene. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, so I'm Trompie.
You are Trompie today because the other group members couldn't make it, but we understand there's load shedding.
Yeah, there's a challenge with load shedding, and I was just wondering how you guys are coping. And by the way, let me commend you and compliment you on this. I don't know when was the last time I was here. It was still small studio. And you've gone so big and so lovely.
No, it's lovely to have you with us in our beautiful
Thank you
studio.
very much.
We also have our chef this morning who's prepared lovely treats for us. Just talk to us about what you've prepared for us.
Hi guys, so I've prepared my chicken wings. So they come with different flavors. So there's sweet soy, my favorite one, and then there's a spicy one. So I took it from the Asian cuisine.
Sure.
And then there's original flavor. But since it's Heritage Month, I tried to play around with flavors. I put some chakalaka and stuff inside.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually standing in for my colleagues, but I've been waiting for the moment to be on the show just to eat. So I'm glad that you're here. Your food, it looks amazing.
Thank you,
I cannot wait to dig in. Eugene, at least you've also come on the right day. It's a Friday, on Fridays here.
Start with the food first.
We have to first start with... We'll let him come in just a bit.
Okay.
But Eugene, talk to us. You made your debut as Trompies back in 1994. I mean, post-apartheid, we have this new outfit. Was music always part of the plan? If you had to take us back to young Eugene, I wish Jakarumba was here to also tell us, was it really part of the plan for most of you?
Oh, yes, it was. We were there long before 1994. If you remember the times of Messi Pakela, Chaklas, Casino, I was part of Casino long before even Lucky Dube. I come from Lucky Dube's band, and Mandla, they were with Chico, as dancers. They started as dancers, and then he then went into playing the bass sound of Chico's music. Yeah.
But was there support from family members when you decided that this would be the career path you wanted to take?
It has never been. I mean, we're still struggling to even define artists as workers today, till today. Since, I don't know when, 1994, we're still struggling to do that. So you can imagine, even at home. But I was fortunate that I had a father who was very liberal, you know. He's a pastor, by the way. My father is a pastor, and my mother was a pastor. May her soul rest in peace. And they did not really take it that bad. They thought, okay, one, he is there in the church playing the piano in the church when there's a reason, there's a need to do so. But if he has to venture into music, I intended to do medicine, by the way, when I was at school. But I think it was a blessing in disguise that I then somehow got, I deviated from that because of what was happening at that time. I was in Tlaganipo High School in Kwamashu, and it was those days when there was black-on-black confrontation, politics took over me, and I then ended up not going into medicine, but going into music.
But nevertheless, music of that time resonated, or most of the musicians wanted their music to reflect that particular era. You spoke about social ills, just everyday struggles. Just talk to me about the creative process when one decides to now put together a hit. It's 5 of you in a studio. What's happening in that studio setup?
Very funny that when we started Trompies, like I said, that we were already there in the music during the times of the bubblegum, what was labeled bubblegum music. So what actually happened with us, it was we were much influenced by what was happening at the time. Remember that Kwaito is born just at the eve of 1994. And we were saying that's why some of the songs that you would remember, Don't Call Me the K Word by Ata Mafukat,
Yeah.
it was that transition moving from a time, a very tragic moment that we had as young people. And we are now saying we are reclaiming our space. As a young Ngoma, we are now celebrating
Yeah.
Uzoyithola kanjani Hleze Khoneni by Mendoza, which was the political message. They were saying, young people, we are not going to grab land, we are not going to grab houses or take things for free. You have to work for it. The only thing that what this moment means to you is you are now equal to everyone. You know, you have equal rights, so you can use those equal rights to show what you can do. And that's what we did. We just said we want to show what we can do. Don't take us for granted that we're coming from the township, therefore we are limited by the surroundings and the environment that we grew up in. We started doing things correct. We own studios, we own our music, we own everything of ours.
Which is not necessarily the case now with some musicians, very difficult. But we will be talking about your choice now beyond the music industry, going into the legal profession, perhaps seeing the need to actually assist in this aspect insofar as ownership of music rights. But, you know, it was a powerful message that most of you gave back then. You moved what we would consider township subculture to mainstream. It started in Soweto. Now you had everybody. Can you actually, looking back to whatever was the intention when you got into music, can you believe that now when they speak of Trompies, they speak of Duma Silela, most of you, including the late Mendoza, they would not leave out the word legend, because you not only influence Kwaito as a genre, but you influence Kwaito as a culture. Because when you look at Trompies, we knew Ispoti, it's the Dickies hat, you've got your Ulsters, and I even remember the two-piece you guys used to wear, and then you know that this was the era where people even dressed like you guys.
Yeah, it's called Matanda Kitchen.
Matanda Kitchen, yes.
Yes, because it comes from that issue of being children of domestic workers and garden boys. So we decided we're going to go that route. Yeah, but it gives me so much, it humbles me more than anything. Wherever I go, that I would meet people, one that has become so synonymous with us, Grootman, it's always there, the legend.
Yeah.
It means that we've earned that stripe. And the respect that we're getting, sometimes I wonder, even though I say I got accustomed to being a celebrity, sort of. I don't like the term celebrity because I don't celebrate myself. I get celebrated by others. That's why I respect the people who make us who we are. So I was born in church, so there was this particular pressure that you need to live to a particular standard. You are a pastor's kid, you must do right things.
Feel free to dig in. Feel free to dig in.
You know? And then, so now this thing, when it comes with the music that we never intended, actually, when we did music, we didn't even think of becoming celebrities or thinking money. We're just following the passion that we had.
And it translated into such great success.
Wow.
But talk to me about your time with Lebo Mathosa. I mean, when we remember that song, Mahasman, I actually thought I was going to sing it. If you guys were all here, I was hoping I would be then the one that sings that version. I'm not very good at singing, but nevertheless, I was quite excited. Khuri, you guys will be belting out Mahasman. Eh? Talk to us about that period.
That you want to venture into music?
No, I'll still keep my job. But talk to us about that period with Lebo Mathosa, how that collaboration came. Very massive song.
What a beautiful collaboration had happened. And I often say, out of all the people that have departed, I wish God could return Lebo Mathosa. I wish God could return Lucky Dube. I wish God could return Bayete, the lead singer, Bayete, Jabu Kanye.
Jabu Kanyile, yes.
Why did he take these, you know, brilliant people? That collaboration happened, it was at night, and at that time Lebu and her friends were staying at my place. So my younger brother, who has since also passed on, came up with this line, Genie, Mandla, he was just singing when I was playing the music only. He kept on singing this. And in the morning, Lebu just decided, I'm going to rock this thing. Isaac, I'm going to rock it.
And you guys started a problem with that song. Because at first, many of us didn't know what was being said.
Yeah.
And it's only later, then we say, okay, it's Zayn, Mandla, Jairus. And then it's like, oh.
Mahasman.
Yes,
and
beautiful.
we introduced a language, by the way, a term in the language, or rather a terminology that could now be used and understood in this day. That when we say Mahasman, what do we mean? And that's what people did not understand about Kwaito, because I know that we were criticized for writing short messages and not. In fact, we were told that we are very disruptive. We are this subculture that is very disruptive, apolitical, you know, the boom shaka generation. But people did not understand that our music was to celebrate. It had to be very percussive, but at the same time, not to send messages, because we're coming from an era that was dominated by messages, political messages. The Bayetes, Stimulas, the Sankomotas. But now, post-1994, we were saying Sikyang Ngoma, so we had to write short messages. And that's why we wrote concept as opposed to writing a paragraph.
Yeah.
We wrote, when we say Mahasmani today, you can describe what a Mahasmani is.
And it resonated with the time.
Yes.
It resonated with the time.
It had to resonate even with the beat. It had to be percussive in how we did. We're not rapping as such, but we're part of the music that was supposed, you know, to make people dance. You know, we couldn't sing like, I love you. Sorry, Ricardo. May his soul rest in peace. But we couldn't sing like that when we wanted people to dance. It had to be, you know, very syncopative. Yeah.
And then now upcoming projects. Unfortunately, Mjokes is no longer with us.
Yes.
Very, very, very difficult loss, I presume. Honestly, for not just you, but the nation.
Yeah, we were busy with the new album that's supposed to be released soon. And Mjokes is in that album. So you can imagine the difficulty that we will have to deal with, because always Mjokes was behind the scenes, but at the forefront of many songs that became popular. Sweetie Lover, it's Mjokes who's leading. Malabu Labu, it's Mjokes who's leading. Now we don't have that important element of Trompies. He has always been part of Trompies from the beginning until he departed.
Sure, may his soul continue to rest in peace. Sweetness, to bring you in. Just remind us, what are we having here? How can people reach you? It's honestly beautiful.
Thank you. So there's original flavor, and then there's a spicy chili sauce, and then there's sweet soy sauce. So you guys can catch us on Instagram. We are Sweet Chefs Dark Wings, also on Facebook. And then another thing about us, me and Marnele Sihlaku, we're from Alex. So the good thing about us is that when we done graduating from the culinary school, we decided to open our own business instead of going and work for someone else.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, because most of the youth in Alex, they complain about there's no jobs and stuff. So we decided to open our own business. Yeah.
We
so
love
please, guys, come support us.
No, we most certainly will. And we love it that you're young people that aren't waiting around for jobs, like you say. You go and do it for yourself. Beautiful, beautiful presentation.
And also, we are at Nelson Mandela Square, library parking.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Certainly, please do support a lovely, lovely meal. Eugene, also thank you very much for your time this morning with us. I honestly wished we could have a performance and Jakarumba would have been here to teach us a few dance moves. Yazi, I was prepared. I've kept my sneakers in the car.
Where's your
No.
Okay.
My sneakers were in the car. We were going to do all those dance moves. And I told you, remember, I planned to sing that part. Zaini, Mandla.
No,
I love
next
that.
time we'll do it. I know that we used to do it when the building was not this big. We used to do it outside. Remember? I think that was the last performance we did it around the trees, outside, along the trees. And
Sure.
yeah, it felt good.
No, thank you very much for joining us both, gentlemen. That was Trompies member Eugene Mthethwa.